Hello and welcome. Let's get started. Today we're going to be looking at Photoshop. We're going to be editing some pictures and see how it looks like doing that. So I'm going to be teaching us how to use some tools. So let's get started immediately. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to start out Photoshop. And to start Photoshop, I'm using Windows 10. So I'm going to go to my search bar and simply type in Photoshop. Okay, you can see this Photoshop CS6, that's what we're using. So we had a class on Photoshop yesterday. I'm going to review what we did yesterday for the benefits of people that are just starting today so that they don't stay left out. Okay. So I just clicked on my Photoshop, so I will expect it to open very quickly. The steps that I'm going to be using in the Photoshop will be on our website. Immediately after this class, you can go check it out. Very descriptive steps on how to go about Photoshopping. And this is the website, www.tclassified.com. All the steps are there, even in our teaching. So you can see this Photoshop. You can click on it, you see the lessons. Okay, this the Python stack up that I said I talked about. Kasmir, is it? Nice one. Kasmir is doing a wonderful job. So you can check out Django Stackup, Python Stackup, Django Stackup. This is the Django code that I use for the class I just finished now. This is the Photoshop class. So click on it, you're going to see the lecture that I'm giving you now. Okay. So let's continue. So I'm going to you can see my Photoshop is opening. So once it's opened up, we can easily continue. So I'm going to be starting with introducing the background of the Photoshop to you so that you know the various background, you know what they do. So that when I give instruction, when I say go to the layer tab, you should know where the layer tab is. When I say go to this, you should know where it is. Okay, is everybody looking? This is the Photoshop opened up. So I'm gonna put this my screen here so that you can see everywhere. Is everybody looking now? So this is the menu bar. This is the what? Menu bar. This is the standard menu. If you want to create a new project, you go to File and do it. If you want to edit, if you want to work on image, if you want to create a new layer. So this is the menu bar housing everything. This is the toolbox. If you want to type, this for typing, see, you can see it. If you want to draw shapes, if you want to zoom, if you want to do anything, if you want to use the pen tool to write, this is where you get it. This is the layer tab. Any new layer, Photoshop is so powerful because it works with layers. So any new layer that you create, as we are going to do now, you see the layer here. Then if you want to work on selected works, you can also work on their adjustment layers here. So this is based on the latest adjustments layer that was picked. If you want to add effects to your work, you can see this F of X. Can you see this FX? It's for adding effects. So we're gonna go through what we went through yesterday and do a different project now so that you can see what I'm doing. So the first thing you do, this is your property bar for anything that you choose, any shape that you choose. You can work on it by working on this place. So if you want to start immediately after opening up your Photoshop, the first thing you do is that you click on this window, click on workspace, and make sure that you're in the default essential workspace. So you can see that my own is already selected because that is where I am. Class, is that clear? So after doing that, the next thing will be to prepare the project you want to work. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to click on New. That's the next thing I did. File and New. Okay, so I'm going to take this out so that I can be seeing what I'm doing. So you put the title. So the title I'm going to put here is we want to do photo editing tutorial. So I say width should always be what? 1920. You can put any size actually, but for what we are doing, we are using 1929, 1080. Make sure we unpick those and make sure that we select 16 bits. So the background is white. So I'm going to click on OK. That's the next thing you do. So once you do that, your initial background is going to come out and it's going to be white in color. Are we together with me? Amos, is this flip going okay? Precious, is it okay? Okay, you guys are not having Photoshop. Okay. So we've done that. So what is the next thing that we did yesterday? We brought in a shape, isn't it? Did we bring in a shape? But before we brought in a shape, we will try to unlock the background, isn't it? And to unlock the background, we simply move our cursor to this lock icon. You double click on it. It's going to ask you what layer number are you going to give it or what layer name. I'm going to call it what? Background. Isn't it? Then I'm going to pick a color for it. I'm going to pick this red. This red does not mean that the color will be red. It simply means that this will be the color that I will use in monitoring the layer. Are we clear on this? So I'm going to press the OK key. So once you do that, you can see that this layer has been unlocked and you can see the red color that you can use to monitor this. Class, are we clear on this? Okay, so I'm going to do the next thing, which is I will try to move this background. So this is the move to class. So once you click on this move to, you should be able to click and hold down and move this. Can you see that this is moving? Class, can you see that this is moving? Okay. So once I'm done moving, if I want to undo what I did, I'll do Ctrl-Alt-Z. So that's the instruction, that's the command, Ctrl-Alt-Z. So you hold down your Control key with Alt and press Z. So it's back to where we started. Are we clear on this? If you want to move, you just select the move to, then you now move. Okay, so the next thing we are going to bring up another layer for drawing. So can you see this block sign? So in your own, it might not be blocked necessarily. So if you right click, some people will have this Weibo custom shape tool, some will have line to polygon, you understand? So it depends on what you have there. But once you right click, you'll be able to see all the options. But I like the rectangular tool option. So I'm going to just pick it up and draw a simple rectangle. So I drew this rectangle, it's already black in color. And you can see the shape here and see the layer is on. The layer is rectangle 1. So I can change the color by coming up here. I told you this is for the property of the current shape. So because this is my current shape, all its property will come out here. If I drew a circle, the property of circle will come out here. You can see that the shape is telling you that it's rectangle. And you can change the fill color. I'm going to click here and pick out another color. So this is the color I'm picking. Once I pick it out, I press the enter key so that this will go out. So you can see the color I have now. Can you see the color I have now? So this is my shape. So I can go back to the move tool. I can click on this to select it or click here. You understand? Then I can move this if I want to move it. If I want to move it in a straight line, I hold down the shift key and move. So if I hold down the shift key and move, it will be on straight line. Okay, you can see why is it that my background moves? Because I didn't select rectangle. So I'm going to do Ctrl-Alt-Z to get my background back. Make sure that you select the rectangle before you move. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is to transform. Apart from moving, there are other things you can do. You can change the shape. And to transform, you simply do what? Ctrl-T. Make sure that you've selected what you want to transform before you do Ctrl-T. Is that clear? Once you do it, these handles will change. So if I want to rotate, I can simply come here. When it's in the rotation side, I'll rotate. If I want to change the size, I can simply come here, change the size. And apart from doing it here, I can also do all these things by walking on top of this place. You understand? If I put the horizontal here, it can reduce This is 100%. I can change it to 50%. You can see it's changing. I put it back to 100%. So you can put it back to 100%. Okay. So once you're done, if you love what you've done, you press the good here. Can you see the good up here? Can you see this good? But if you don't like what you've done in the transform, you click back this to cancel all the transforms. So I'm going to cancel the transform to get it back. Is it clear? So the next thing I did was to bring in test yesterday. So I clicked here. This is the text tool. Once you click on it, you can be able to write test. Is that clear? So once you want to write test, you click here and you come and write your test. And after writing the text, we were able to import a picture, isn't it? So those are the things we did yesterday. So I'm going to try to write something. So what should I write? Please, somebody is calling me, and I'm going to quickly pick the call because it's an important call. Please, then I'll continue back. So before I pick the call and done, please make sure you write what you want to write here and bring in a shape so that the new people that will know that we are done with the new people so that we can work on what we want to work on today. Okay, thank you. Yeah, hello and welcome. So let's continue from where we stopped. So I'm going to quickly share my screen so that we can continue. Okay. Okay, so this is my, I'm going to pick this up and put it somewhere here so that it doesn't fill my screen. So this is, I just clicked on the writing tool. And immediately I clicked, I saw this layer 2. Okay, I did it 2 times. That's why I'm seeing layer 2. But I want to work on this layer, the latest layer. And I'm going to type. So what do I type? I simply type Tclassified.com. So with that still selected, I'm going to move by clicking on the move so that I will now position it. You can see it now, it's at the middle now. So I can come up here and make sure that my T, you see the name now is now changed from, what's it called? From layer 2 to Tclassified.com. So that's what I have now. So I can go back to the other layer. I can go to my triangle. I can go to my background. So depending on what I want to work on, I can select. So I can also double click on this very Tclassified that I have. Okay. Okay. So please, I just want to select this and effect some changes to it so I can take any font I want. Okay. So you see the font is 10 for the first 2. So I'm gonna quickly change the last one to another font. Okay. So you can actually build out your logo if you want. So I'm gonna select the whole of it and give it another color altogether. So what color am I giving it? Let me give it a brighter color so that it can differentiate from what we have there. Okay. So this is what we have now. Tclassified.com, but written in a special way. So I can select another, can select any of these layers that I want. Please, can somebody see this? Is it clear? Is it clear? So having selected Tclassified, let me quickly do Control T, which is transform. Abby? So you can see that the transform is on it. Make sure you select the layer before you do that. Then I'm going to stretch this to make my Tclassified.com bigger. So once it's bigger, I can now go to add some effects. So I'm going to show us how to add more effects to this. So to add effects, I'm going to go to, after doing the transform, I've transformed it to the way I want. So I'm going to select good. So you can see that it's transformed. So I'm going to make sure that I'm on Tclassified.com. Then I select the FX, which is the effect, because I want to add some effect to this Tclassified.com and make it look better. So I'm going to click on blending option. That is the option I always told you to choose from the yesterday's class. So you can see the effect. So the first thing I'm going to add is what? Drop shadow. That's what we did yesterday. But we did it on the background, did it on the box. Now we are doing it on a text itself. So I click on drop shadow. Immediately I did it. You can see small shadow already on Tclassified. Did anybody notice it? Did anybody notice that Tclassified immediately turned and become better? Did anybody notice that? So I'm going to click on this drop shadow again so that the dialog box will open up. So I'm going to add up more shadow. I'm going to add up more shadow by increasing the size of the shadow. Can you notice what is happening on the Tclassified? I'm also going to try adding up spread. Can you notice what the spread did? So I'm going to reduce the spread small. And I'm going to add up more size, and I'll reduce the spread more. So you can see here, if you look here, you see what is happening there. So I can also add up stroke. Like you all know, I like the stroke. Stroke is very important. It makes it to look better. So once I pick on stroke, I'm going to pick on the color. Once you put stroke, make sure you always pick color. So I'm going to pick this yellow color so that when I pick it, I will know that it's there. So I'm going to select OK after picking the yellow color. Okay. So this is on the stroke. Please, I made a mistake the other time. So I'll pick the yellow color for the stroke. Then I press the OK. So you can see what is happening there. The stroke is simply an outline. So you can also do inner glow, outer glow, depending on what you want. You can even have pattern overlay. So if you click on this pattern overlay, you can choose any pattern you want. So you can see that that pattern is now inside this Tclassified.com. Can you notice it? So once you're done everything, doing everything you want, so let me try small outer glow. So I'll click on outer glow. Let me add spread. No, it's not fine. So I'm gonna reduce it. So anything you're doing, make sure it's looking fine. Okay, I like this one. So I'm gonna add a little bit. I'm gonna reduce this small. Okay, so this is what I have now. Once you're done with everything, you can click on the OK. So you see what I'm having now is totally different from what I used to have before. So next thing is that I'm gonna, and as you're creating, you're seeing the sub layers for all the effects you're having. If you want to lock if you want to make any effects invisible, I can just come here and click on it. You will not be able to see the effect again. Can you see the way I'm removing all the effects? So I'm back to where I started. If you want them visible again, you put them back. Can you see? That's why Photoshop is so good. You make any effect, after you can take it back. So that is what I'm doing. I'm taking all of them back. This is where I started from. I want to make them visible. I put them back. So that's what you do. So I'm going to quickly go back to this background again and add some effects. So I'll click on rectangle. So I'm on the rectangle. I go to effects because I want to add what we call gradient to my rectangle. I click on blending option. Then instead of going to all these other places, I'll just add only shadow. I'll add outer shadow to my rectangle. After adding the shadow, I'm going to just simply add gradient. You see here gradient. So select this gradient. You can see once you select, you can combine colors under gradient. So the color I'm having is black and red and black. But I can pick out any color that I want actually. So if I click here, I can select any combination that I want. If I like this combination, I'll click on it. If I want this one, I'll click on it. If I want this, I'll click on it. If I want this. So depending on the color combination you want for your gradient, that's what you're going to pick out. So which should I pick? I'm going to pick this and leave it at this. Okay, so I'm click OK. So that is about it. You can see all the extra layers for the effects I added on my gradient. If I want to close them up, if I don't want to see them, I'll just make them invisible by clicking on them. If I want them visible, I'll click back, they'll come. So once you're done with working on your file, the next thing you're going to do is to save. And to save, you simply go to File, go to Save As. So once you're on Save As, you now save with any name. One good thing about saving is that you can save as JPEG or as anything, you understand? So it's different from the project. The project has everything, but what you save on, it depends on what you want to use the file for at the moment. Is that clear? And you know you can save at various times, you understand, depending on the work, the level of your work. So I'm going to simply save this as background. Then you can save as a Photoshop file, but in order for you to use on another file, you're supposed to save as what? PNG or JPEG, isn't it? So I'm going to save as PNG, and I click on Save. So with this, I'm going to have this file as PNG so that I can use it elsewhere. Like, let's say in my website, I'm designing my website, I want to use it somewhere. So I can be able to use it. So it's telling me to compress. So I'm going to just click OK to every instruction so that I can get it saved down. Are we clear on this? So please, I'm going to leave you guys time to go and practice it. So quickly practice it. And if you have any questions and concerns, you can always ask me questions. And you can also ask Shing. Are we clear on this? Okay. So thank you.